Alrighty, everybody, welcome into This Is Time Coins and Collectibles. Now, in this video, I just kind of want to utilize it to teach some people more about how to get into the numismatic coin collecting scene. Now, it is not exactly for everybody, and I will say that I got into it due to the fact that I stumbled upon a rare silver coin that I didn't notice was rare. I took it to a market and traded off, and it was a little bit more value than what it was actually worth, which I'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to go over some basic coins that can lead you into this exact market. And these are things that I think literally, if you are interested in starting a coin collection, these are the basic coins you should look for in your pocket change and things as such as that. So I just want to get into that here, so let's just start talking about it. Alright, so now we're on Google, and this is stuff I wanted to bring up for you guys because people have trouble understanding that a basic coin isn't always worth a lot more value. There are a couple factors into how your coin could be more valuable than the actual coin itself. But this is just me going over the basics of how I got into the door and how this can lead you into researching so much more than that. Now, what we have on my screen here is it's a silver wartime nickel, okay? A silver wartime nickel is this nickel here particularly, you want to look for these dates right here. 1942 to 1945. Now, if you find this, it's going to go for a little bit more. It's going to go for a little bit more than its value. I'm not sure how much people usually price them, but I'm going to give or take like $3 because this is a you know, 35% silver coin. It doesn't have much silver in it, but it's still worth a little bit more than the average nickel. All right. And people don't really look at nickels too much, mostly because the years for the silver nickels are specifically from 1942 to 1945. So as you can tell, there isn't too many years for silver nickels out there. And this is just a basic example of a coin that is more valuable than its actual price that it's known for, which is 5 cents. These can run at like $2 to $3 on market, I want to say, maybe even more than that. But these specific late dates right here are the dates you want to look for a nickel. Now, if we go over to the next place, um, this is silver quarter, okay? Now, silver quarters take place before the year 1964, as you can see here, and it goes all the way back to the date of 1932. So you want to look for the dates of 1932 to 1964 circulating. Now, what circulating means is it's used as payment. You can find it in your pocket chain. Um, Numismatic terminology for it is junk silver. And I learned that when I made my first trade. Now, my first trade wasn't a silver quarter. In fact, it's the next one over, but the dates you want to look for a silver quarter, if you can find them, are 1932 to 1964. Now, these are specific dates. The rest here is just a brief description. But the value of them can go for $6 to $8.50, which is relatively good considering it's a quarter. So, think about it that way. You're going to get more value out of a silver quarter than you are going to get with an average 25-cent quarter, depending on a year and what is on the quarter. Now, there's a couple more this whole like section over here, I built it so you guys can get an idea of what it is you need to look for. Now, and this is the second one of what you want to look for. Now, The third example of something you want to look for out there circulating is a silver dime. Now, a silver dime goes from 1946 to 1964, and you know, they really, they're, you know, they're not easy to come by. And I will say that. And the reason they are not easy to come by is because people, as soon as they find them, they keep them for their collection. That is why I keep an eye on all my dimes, my quarters, my nickels, even my pennies. I keep an eye on all that stuff simply because these are key dates I want to look for, and if I have them, I don't I keep them with me, and when I would go to the market, I would trade off. Now, my very first trade was with a silver dime, sorry. And the silver dime was the year 1964. And when the person I traded with for a gold back, which is the paper like money that's gold, um they told me a little bit information on it, and that's how this whole door of looking at coins and being, getting more interested in numismatic value of coins that's how the door opened up for me. And I realized how simple it was to get involved to the coin collecting numismatic scene. And believe me, I have a bunch of coins sitting on my table over here that I remotely have looked through. And I also have some sitting in a jar, which I haven't even looked through yet, but I'm also keeping them as a currency, so I can take them and spend them. But going back to this, these are specifically key dates you want to look for. All right. So, like right here it says, silver Roosevelt dimes were minted from 1946 to 1964, and silver proofs were minted from 1950 to 1964. The key dates for the silver Roosevelt proofs are 1950 through 1951. So just keep an eye on your dimes too. Your dimes are another key factor of you finding silver within your coin. Now, what is the percentage of silver in these coins? Let's see if it says it here because it gives me. All right, these coins are mostly 90% silver and have whitish gray color to them. So you're going to notice that with any silver coin, you're going to get a really light gray look to them with the shine to it, showing you that it's silver. That's why when you open up quarters or anything like that, you're gonna open up a roll of quarters. You look at the side, you're always gonna see something in there that looks like a more lighter color to it with no, like, I don't look for the copper rim, but you'll see it when you open up a roll of coins. There's a guy I watched that actually taught me that little trick too. So yeah, this is another thing you want to look for. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about here is a bicentennial quarter. Now, the bicentennial quarter, they're not hard to come by, and they are always a little bit more valuable than a regular quarter. But they're not, the maximum amount you can get is a little bit more than 25 cents out of them if you are a collector. If you find a one right here that has an S on it, which I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if it has an S on it, that is a sign that is a bicentennial silver, and that is 40% silver. Again, those can sell for a little bit more than your average quarter, okay? But bicentennials in general, they sell a few cents more than an average quarter. Now, when you go and find your bicentennials, don't always assume you have silver. But what you want to look for in a bicentennial is on the back. It's going to look exactly like this. Like, I made a short on it, which you couldn't see the quarter very well, but they are a little bit more in value, and they're pretty cool to have. If you find some, just hold on to them because they'll go up in value eventually. So, and then the next step above the bicentennial that's more rare is the bicentennial silver, which again, it'll have an S mint, which is the little S right here. So, okay, so this is another detail I can go into. So wherever a coin's minted, you're always going to see it as one simple letter printed on the quarter itself, which S is, I want to say, San Francisco in most situations. Uh, D is for Denver, Delaware, things like that, and then P is for Philadelphia. So let's go into the next one. So that's the advice I give you for that. The next one here. Okay, so that's talking a little bit more about the bicentennial silver and what it can be worth. Now, when you sell it off, don't expect it to go for this much. This is just a price that goes at auction. Like if you put it on eBay auction, depending on who's looking for it and who's buying it, you might you might actually want to consider like the fact that you might not even make this over at the bidding auction. Just saying, 19,200 is, you know, a lot of money for a quarter, but people do that sometimes. That's if your auction gets lit up by people. So the next one I want to get into is the wheat penny. Now the wheat penny, depending on its year, wheat pennies are a little bit more valuable, okay? And they can actually sell for a little bit more than what their value is. Um, it just depends on its year, and it depends on if it actually has an error. Because as you can see on the top here, that would be an error. That would be an error. And then there's a couple other pennies out there. They're called steel pennies. They don't look like they're not copper. They're actually the color of metal, and they go for a little bit more than an average wheat penny. Um, but my most expensive average wheat penny, I believe, is 1945, I believe, and I'm looking for a buyer for it on OfferUp for like $5 because that's what it runs. Um, but this is just basic information on, if you want to get into collecting, if you're interested in what the numismatic, uh, you know, spears like. It's just people collecting coins like this, and then sometimes you get error coins, that takes a magnifying glass to look into, which I do it on a stream. I did it the other day on my other stream, but that's just something I want. This is just something I want to show you guys as to why I got into this so much and why, for me, there's coins I have on my desk right now that actually have value that most people would not see as valuable. And most people would pass, a wheat penny up. But I have like 4 or 5 wheat pennies right now, and I have some pennies on my desk that have errors on them. So it just depends on how you look at everything. All right, and there you go. There you have it. That's a little bit insight about numismatic value of pennies and more about what the numismatic is. It is a group of people in general, like myself, who do collect coins, and we look at coins and we look at like if they have mistakes or if they're different than most pennies, stuff such as that. So if you are wanting to get in this community, it's just about finding certain coins. And I will say this. I've been on Facebook the past few weeks, and I joined a numismatic community just to see what it was like. And some of those people coming in there, they're bringing in like average quarters that have no mistakes on them, and I have to sit there and be harsh with them because it's a part of the value of the coin. If a coin, okay, so take it like this. If a Pokemon card, yes, I do collect Pokemon. If a Pokemon card has a is a misprint, let's just say, the printer prints out a card that the image is adjusted a little bit over to like a little bit closer to the left side of the card. it's going to be of more value. Okay, or like there's some sort of text issue or image issue. That's the same with coins. If you have coins with issues on them, they can run for a good chunk of money if you put them out there on the market. eBay has auctions. Websites like Facebook and things like that all have auctions. You just got to keep an eye out for it. So if you are really interested in it, it's all there. I gave you the best information of how you can get started. The rest is on you to do your research and watch other professionals. I'm just a basic guy who just learned about it and took more interest in it because it was something that intrigued me when I found my first one. And trust me, you can, my dime from 1946 traded off for $2. So just keep an eye out on your coins, keep an eye on stuff like that, and you might find something of worth the value. Don't just assume everything's in value. When I took that for a trade, I was skeptical. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get anything out of this. And then I turned around and traded like 2 or 3 wheat pennies, a bicentennial, and a silver dime off for a gold back. And it was equal value to the guy that I traded to. So just remember, don't doubt yourself. Be skeptical though. You might not have something of value, but don't automatically assume you have something of value, because you never know. All right. With that said, I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back later on with more content here. I just right now what I do is the way I put it up is I think about it, and we're gonna start streaming more about maybe looking at coins and all that, and looking at misprints on coins and all that, just to kind of teach you guys more about the numismatic side of things and teaching people to get more interested in looking at their coins, and hopefully the dollar doesn't fold because of this kind of stuff, because this stuff is incredible. If you're not into this, then I don't know what to tell you, but go buy some crypto or something, because it's not for you. All right. But if you have pocket change and you're interested, look at it deeply and research it. You might find out stuff. Off of here, I do watch people who are into the hobby I'm into to learn a little bit more about it. So, all right. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I inspired you a little bit. I hope I brought some information to you that you could use, and I hope you learned a little bit something here. And in the meantime, take it easy and keep an eye on your change. And God bless.